Let me introduce Captain Anuj K. He is a private pilot and a passionate aviator. He is the founder of JAG Aviation, which makes flying accessible for all. His dedication has inspired aspiring pilots and aviation lovers. He spreads awareness through active learning programs like OFly. Now I request our respected principal sir, Mr. Shantan Das, to present a token of appreciation to Captain Anuj K. Thank you, sir. Next, we have the privilege of having retired Commander Raj Gopal, serving as the designated wing commander in Indian Air Force for 25 years. Raj Gopal sir's commitment to our nation is truly inspiring. Notably, he has also served as a member of Service Selection Board. His remarkable journey is the epitome of dedication, thrill and adventure, which makes him an inspiration to all the aspirants who dream to join the Indian Army and Indian Air Force. Raj Gopal sirs find joy in mentoring and teaching budding pilots, passing on his knowledge and experience to the next generation. Now I request our respected CFO, Mrs. Vani Pratap, to present a token of appreciation to retired Wing Commander Raj Gopal. Thank you, ma'am. Now let us delve into the world of aviation and hear their insights and experiences. Captain Anuj K. and retired Wing Commander Raj Gopal, we eagerly await your words of wisdom and encouragement for all the young aviation enthusiasts and present here.
Yeah, good afternoon. So it was an interesting actually showcase of all the scientific concepts here. And I thank Principal Sir and Rita ma'am for inviting us. It's pleasure actually being with you guys. And just about the aviation, before we have some standard presentation which we will run. But before that, I have one question. Who has been interested in aviation here? Not necessarily that you have to become a pilot, but just it interests me. Whenever I take a flight, okay. So any one of you just tell me that what you like about aviation. Any one hand? The guy with the specs, your coat and specs.
Sir, I like about the aerospace.
What you like? What excites you?
The flying of an airline or aeroplane.
Okay, good. Anyone else? One more.
The skies. The skies.
Okay, what you like in the sky? Clouds?
The calmness.
Good. Sort of a meditation, can we say that?
I like about the planes and all that, how they fly and how they are managed to stay in the air for so long.
Okay, in which grade you are?
7th.
Okay, so in the coming time you will study about some concepts which will help you understand how an aircraft flies. We will touch upon slightly upon that how an aircraft flies. In between, if you have any question related to aviation, today we have Wing Commander Raj Gopal also. So we are open to the Air Force side questions also. Okay, civil side, any kind of question is fine. Okay, be it where the engine is mounted, because there is no silly question. It's only a question. And there is no advanced question also for me. So I would like to have that question for which I find it interesting to give an answer. Yeah.
I fly a lot of Indigo, and there's always this noise before you take off. I think it's called the PTU sound. And I don't know what is the full form of PTU, why does it make that screeching sound? But it's almost become a habit, the amount of times I traveled in a A320 or A321 Neo.
Okay, so first of all, the way you have asked the question, it looks like you know a bit about it, right? So it's a power transfer unit you are talking about. Usually at the time of taxiing, we call when you are moving on the ground, that we call as taxiing, right? At the time of taxiing, you hear this sound, not at the time of takeoff, not in the air, right? After landing also, once you taxi out of the runway, at times you listen this sound, right? Kind of something it is building a pressure, right? So the power transfer unit, it typically happens when the one engine is operative. To save the fuel, So what they do is from the stand they only power one engine. And because of that they have to transfer the pneumatics and hydraulics to the other side also. There is a power transfer unit which makes this sound.
Can I follow? Yeah. So is this airline mandated or DGCA mandated? Also, why doesn't Boeing, the 737s make this noise?
Because it's an Airbus phenomenon.
Oh, it's an Airbus.
So it's an Airbus, you will find this sound. Right? So see, what happens, you will not find that much in Air India rather than Indigo or Go Air. Because they have this procedure of starting only one engine at the bay. Second engine they usually start before entering the runway to save the fuel.
Sir, which force takes the plane up to the air from the ground? Like which force?
Okay, so in which grade you are?
6.
Okay, so it's little early for you. Okay, but have you ever taken out your hand out of the car when it is moving?
No, sir.
Like this? Okay, then you have to try this, but just be careful about the traffic, okay? You just discuss before whoever is driving, then you take out and see what happens if you keep your hand like this. Okay, it has a tendency to go up. And if you change the angle of attack, it will further, you will feel the force. Okay, just try this out. You will have a bit of understanding how an aircraft flies, right? Any other question before I start my standard presentation?
Like if you are flying a plane,
Okay, I will just add one information. I will take up your question before this. So this is a question which multiple students have asked, that how much fuel the aircraft carries for a flight. So in case if it is something which is associated with the last question. So typically, let's say you have to fly from here to Delhi. It's approximately 2 hours 20 minutes or 2 hours 30 minutes flying time. And it's based on the winds also. On ground, when we move, we do not have a wind factor. But in sea as well as in air, we have something called as a wind factor, and which gives us a drift. So the amount taken or the time taken to travel may vary. At times you may reach by, not like significantly, but 20 minutes from Bangalore, Delhi kind of a distance, 20 minutes is quite possible. Okay, so let's say we have a 2.5 hour flight. So fuel for that 2.5 hour, the taxi time estimated in Bangalore airport as well as in Delhi airport, and for the alternate. If in case there is a bad weather at Delhi or you are about to land and the earlier aircraft got disabled on the runway, what you will do? So you should have a fuel to go to a alternate, maybe Jaipur. And there also additionally 45 minutes minimum, so that if you have to hold at Jaipur also, so that you can land there. So this is the minimum fuel requirement is something for the airliners, right? So it's not like that, okay, keep the full tank and go. That's not we cannot do always, because the fuel also carries weight. So for the optimized operation, it's only what is required.
I'm curious to know, in case of emergencies, like if engines fail, what is the procedure that pilot undergoes, and how do they ensure safety of the passengers that are on board?
Okay. So first of all the airlines you will see they are multi-engine. They have 2 engines now. Earlier days there were 4 engines also, 747, 340. But these are 2 engines. The engines are so reliable that do not fail easily. If the maintenance is good, even your car engine is not failing these days, right? Where there is not that safety factor. What max will happen if your engine goes out? You will just stuck on the road. So first of all, the reliability of the engine is quite high these days, and they undergo a lot of maintenance at a scheduled as well as unscheduled when it's required. And aircraft is built or it is designed in a way that if one engine stalls also, it is able to fly with one engine, the one engine operating. Till date, there is a very rare event, except the Sully movie people might have seen. Both the engines went off. Right, so it is not a very common thing. It's a very rarest, I would say, that both the engine fail. Right, so there is a lot of redundancy in an aircraft. So why engine doesn't fail, that is a little complex thing, but there is a lot of redundancy. That's what I can say. An aircraft is made to glide. Helicopter doesn't. So even if both the engines goes also, it will not fall like a stone. It has some basically potential to glide up to a certain distance. Does it answer? There are a few more things in the aviation, so that is just mentioned in this video.
Aviation, there are multiple types of aircraft like helicopter, aerosports including paragliding, microlight, glider, hang gliding, hot air balloon, gyrocopters, limited use fun machine, private jets, used by celebrities, politicians, and industrialists, amphibian aircraft that can land on water as well as on runway, small aircrafts, scheduled commercial airline like Air India, Indigo, Emirates, cargo aircraft like FedEx, Blue Dart, Prime Air, and unmanned aerial vehicles commonly known as drones.
Drones is something which is quite popular these days, but I often see that students forget to include into aviation. So anything which flies is a part of aviation, including drones. So see, we have planned some quiz, so it's like I will randomly ask some questions, and one or two we will give some scholarship coupons also. So I want to ask that any wild guess at how many drones are there as of now in India?
Sir, 5 lakh. 5 lakh.
Okay, 5 lakh. Anyone else?
120,000. 120,000.
Okay.
A million or 2 million.
Okay. The last one. Okay. So see, on drones there is an ambiguity because government doesn't know how many drones are there, first of all. So they have started now regulating it for last 2 years. So there is a lot of registration happening. So close to around 70 to 80,000 drones are, which the government know it exists. Remaining, we are absolutely no clue that how many drones are there, because you can build a drone on yourself. Even as a science project, you can build one. And you are lucky that in Bangalore you find all components that you can make a drone, right? So you don't have to order, you can just go to the store, buy the parts, understand it over the online and build one. Maybe you can make a science project like that. What you mount, camera or something, it is called as a payload. For what you are using that flying machine is up to you. These are some of the popular career options people choose in aviation. Okay, Scholars Pilot License is something which we have introduced, is where actually, because you can start your flying training after 10th. So only 16 years of age and 10th is required to start a flight training. Okay, so we have students who are doing flight training along with their 11th and 12th. But these are students who are more or less clear that they want to choose it as a profession, right? Anyone also, their commerce or arts is not a hindrance in flying until unless you want to pursue it commercially. Okay, if you want to pursue it commercially, then you need physics and maths in 12th. Okay, so there are people, I know people who are working as a CA, okay, and later on they wanted to join airline. So they give the exam of physics and maths anywhere was there because they were CA. Physics they have given from the open school and they came into the airline. The guy I'm talking about, he's flying with SpiceJet right now, 737. Okay, so it's like if someone is clear, they can start just after 10th along with the school. Because we need only the presence of the student at flight school for flying, not for the ground classes. So that is typically done in the summer vacation. So 30 to 40 days of presence is fine. If the weather is good, we can complete the training required in that duration. Remaining will go after 12th. Right? So that is about the Scholars Pilot Program. That is particularly for the school students. For commercial pilot license, what is a convention, what people are doing right now is after 12th, physics and maths you need, and you have to write theory exams of DGCA. Approximately 6 exams you have to give, and 200 hours of flying is required to reach to the commercial pilot license. But that's not it to reach to airline, because you are trained on a smaller aircraft. So you have to be now transitioned to the bigger aircraft, because the smaller aircraft, what is the maximum weight? 1500 kg, 2000 kg. What airline flies is around 70,000 kg, 70 tons. So the transition and the complexity of system to understand, it is called as a type rating, where the student is trained after CPL in a simulator. So those simulator we give with your tour. for students just for the exposure purpose. So simulator, why simulator? Definitely it is cost effective. Also you can try many maneuvers in that which you cannot try in the real aircraft. If I have to say that okay, there is an engine failure number 2, you cannot do in the real aircraft. You can do it in a simulator. Right? If there is a tire burst, how you will do a tire burst in real aircraft? So that's the use of the simulation, the real use. Right? And these simulators, even after joining airline, every 6 months you have to come back to the simulator to do the refresher ones, to practice all the emergencies so that it stays in your mind. If something really goes wrong someday, it should be fresh in your mind. Okay, so that is about the journey till the airline. Apart from that, aircraft maintenance engineering, as of now, India has orders of around 1200 airline aircraft. But there is something else apart from this which people do not know, is the number of helicopters and private airplanes coming to India, which always remain away from media. So last year, approximately 70 aircraft came as a private aircrafts to India. So people have started realizing that it is somewhere people can afford it also, as well as they understand that okay, it saves time. So that's how the number of aircraft is increasing. At the same time, we need more personnel to fly it, maintain it. Okay. One important aspect which is still missing from India is the engine overhaul. So if you purchase one aircraft, 2 engines are required. But the irony is we are still sending the engines out to other countries for maintenance. They are going to China, Singapore for maintenance. So that is something which need to be brought back to India. And India is right now in the aviation side into a mode where rather than depending on others, we want the other countries to depend on us. So that is something. Safran is an Italian company. They have recently gave a media release that they are opening an engine maintenance facility in India. So they are the one who are manufacturing the key engines like CFM LEAP for Airbus and Boeing. Apart from that, typically like an airport like Bangalore, there are approximately 1500 to 2000 employees working in the Bangalore International Airport itself. That belongs to the your buyer employees. If you put together the vendors, and it's close to around 20,000 people are working for Bangalore Airport. So this, when they say that they are opening a new airport or they are enhancing the airport, it is a lot of employment creation. And it's a big boost to the economy, something. So there are a lot of career opportunities which comes on the airport side also, but they are mostly unstructured and they require at least graduation. For pilot, you do not need at least a graduation. You only need 12th, at least 10th, and for commercial pilot, only 12th is required. These are just the advantages of our Scholars Pilot program. So it enhances the kids who are clear about they want to become an airline pilot. It advances their career by at least 1.5 years, which result in the saving of approximately 30-35 lakh rupees. So it's quite a basically extraction of what you have invested for the training. And also it gives you a lot of flexibility that if you want to go outside India to do your partial training outside India. So these are just few advantages. So if whoever is interested to know what we do, I have given some QR code to the Rita ma'am, you can take it and you can download the brochure from there. Also we are available on our website, ofly.in, so you can go through there. It's just the explanation of what is the conventional commercial pilot license, how much cost it takes, and typically with the pilot salary in the present day, how much time it takes to get back that money, right? And just go to the next slide. This is about the Scholars Pilot program. You break away the fees which you are investing initially, and also the return is fast. Next. Okay, so what is the best time to start the pilot training? Is a video just played. There is a video in that.
What is the best time to commence your pilot training?
Is planning for a pilot career, they should do it just after the 10th. So what happens is that the preparation goes and they'll be, by the time they complete the 12, they'll be almost 30% done with the planning and they're prepared to get into the flying training. So I think right after 10th.
The next slide. Okay, how an aircraft flies, someone was asking and I gave an example of the hand. But this is what the basic components of the aircraft. Okay, so and the shape of the airfoil. So I believe the 11th and 12th grade students might be aware about the Bernoulli's theorem. Yes or no? Okay. So anyway, the Bernoulli theorem is one of the key concepts used to fly the aircraft. And I'm not going into detail about it. If you have any specific question, you can ask me.
Sir, I had a question that the marshalling of an aeroplane is counted in the ground maintenance or like in the pilot training?
See, that marshalling is come under the ground support. So these are the ground staff. Okay, they are not the maintenance staff. Maintenance staff do it, not necessarily. So marshalling can be taught to someone and they can do it. So it's not essentially a maintenance staff. At some places, maintenance staff can also do it. If I teach you, you will be able to do it in 2 days. Right? It's not. It's very simple. It's very logical thing. Right?
You said that radio waves are sent by airplane traffickers. So what if sometimes the airplane doesn't catch the signal, and is there any backup for it?
Okay, good question. So there is a range for the signal. Okay, the range decides based on the height of the transmitter and receiver as well as the power of the transmitter. Okay, so earlier days there was a common phenomenon, we lost an aircraft, but then they found it also because they lose a connection with the aircraft. But these days, because we are, first of all, the ground surveillance equipment, the number is increased, their quality has enhanced, then we have a satellite support also. So an airline aircraft is always, it's never disappears. It is always, even in the flight radar 24, you can see where is the aircraft. Nobody calls up the airline that what time the aircraft is coming. You just open the flight radar 24, Bangalore, Delhi-Bangalore flight is right now just crossed the Hyderabad. So we should start. We will take 1 hour and they will also land in possibly 30-35 minutes. So that's how the improvement in the technology has taken place.
Can you elaborate on how the radar works?
Okay, how the radar works? So there are 2 types of radar. The simple example which I give is, let's say I have a tennis ball, okay, and I throw it. It will hit the wall and come back to me. The force I am using it is the transmitter power. Okay, if the ball comes back to me, I know that there is something. How much time it takes, if I know the speed I have thrown the ball, I can know, okay, estimated this much distance, there is something. This is one way of assessing it. But I don't know what is that. Either it's a wall, it's a tree, I do not know. The other way is I throw a ball at you, you grab it, you write your name on it and throw back to me. Okay, now I know you are there and who is there. So this is called a secondary surveillance radar. Right? That's typically the airline works today. Right. Yeah.
What is so complex in the engines of Rolls-Royce and also in the engines of Rafale and F-35 that we cannot produce it in India?
We cannot?
Produce it in India.
See, Air Force, I am not that much aware about the engine, but at the same time, Rolls-Royce engines are pretty much used in India. So they create a series of aviation engines, okay, aero engines. So we have the 3 primary manufacturers which are used by the airline is CFM, that is the Safran, and the GE. GE is also separately is there. Then you have Rolls-Royce. These are the 3 primary manufacturers in the airline. If you see the turboprop, which is the ATR of Indigo or the Bombardier Q400 of SpiceJet, they use the Pratt & Whitney engine. They are the Canadian manufacturers. But there is as such no complexity. I am not sure about the fighter aircraft, but civilians there is no complexity. It's about the marketing. So which one is give you a better deal? Done?
I want to know why is Airbus considered more safe than Boeing? Like there was
Because it doesn't allow pilot to do things what he wants to do. Computer is watching you. So if you have a not that much trained pilot also, he cannot make mistakes. If you ask him the aircraft, if you want to nosedive it, computer will not allow. Even it will create a report and send it to your headquarters that he was trying to do this. So it's always the computer monitoring in the Airbus. We call it the fly-by-wire. Okay. So if pilot errors, it is able to absorb to a larger extent. In 737, it is not the case. It is manually deployed. See, first of all, there is, as I said, there is redundancy in everything. Okay, so first of all, it is bound to be like, see, retraction not happening is possible, but extraction, it is due to the gravity also you can do it. You will just manually just do it, open the doors, it will on its own gravity, it will fall, lock into the position. Thereafter, if it doesn't work, there is a manual basically handle which you can do it. You know, off late in last at least a decade, there was no chance that you have to do it manually. But earlier days, if your hydraulics or pneumatic fails, the pilot will go to the luggage area there, he will open the panel and from the handle he will extract the landing gear. But if you do not extract it beyond a certain after descending, it will give you warning. And in Airbus, it will not allow you to land also. That's what I said, no? It is always a computer is watching. Last question.
So usually I've noticed pilots are clean shaven or have very little beard. Is it some sort of protocol or is it just pilot fashion?
No, it is something like, say, these days airlines doesn't mandate all this. Earlier, you can ask Rajgopal sir, forces, so you cannot have all this luxury.
Even commercially, can you?
See, these days, though, guys have all the, whatever the Virat Kohli type beard, right? So, it is all fashion now. So, this is like, see, something is there, like DGCA, the regulatory body doesn't mandate any of these. I can go in the shorts and fly the aircraft also. DGCA has absolutely no issue over it, right? But this is the airline decorum which they maintain. So you can see the uniform which I am wearing. This is not the DGCA mandated. This is the first time it came in US by the Pan Am, way back. They developed this, the attire that, okay, the appellate culture and everything uniform. You see the Indigo, they have a different uniform. They do not follow the standard, this thing. They are more like an Indian Navy kind of a uniform.
Somewhere I read they do not allow pilots to have heavy beards because in case of emergencies they need to wear a mask. So if you have a very big beard, there's some sort of problem.
But I have seen personally people like, they are bald but they have a good beard. So, see, because this is, you have to understand that the things are changing with time. The pilots, what they wear, the mask is not the one which they gave you. Okay? So they have a very well fixed mask actually. And they have an oxygen tank to breathe. You don't have an oxygen tank to breathe. You are just given to metals which react and can give you only oxygen up to 15-20 minutes. That's it.
I stand here today to express my heartfelt gratitude to all those who have made this event possible. I would first like to express my appreciation to our guests, Captain Anuj K and retired Wing Commander Raj Gopal, who have taken time out of their busy schedules to grace this occasion with their presence. Your presence has added an extra spark to this event and made it even more special. Furthermore, we would like to thank our principal, Mr. Shantanu Das, our CFO, Mrs. Swani Pratap, Assistant Headmaster, Mr. Sudeep Mukherjee, HOD of Science, Mr. Yogesh Solanki, and the entire Science Department for their contribution, guidance, and encouragement in our efforts. An event like this could not be possible without the people who have worked on and off stage. I would like to thank the IT department, the staff members, and the support staff who have helped the smooth running of this program. I would also like to extend my gratitude to our teachers who have been our guiding lights, imparting wisdom, knowledge to us, and nurturing our talents. Their tireless support has been instrumental in our growth and development. I would like to express my sincere gratitude to Mr. Ramesh and Mr. Shivanna for supporting us through and through. Finally, I would like to thank each and every one of you, the participants, and even the students who witnessed the science experiments and the talks from figures of such high regard. We owe such an occasion seeded the plant of scientific curiosity in your minds. Thank you and have a great weekend.